This is a video recording of my submission for Visual Studies 2. Starting with my sketchbook, I have a few cutout drawings of my collection. Then this is some cross-hatching practice, and then I also did my own sort of cross-hatching from this idea. This is abstract, sort of an abstract interpretation of my collection using a compass and a ruler only. Some more cutouts, sort of playing with the composition and the negative space and how we can recreate the vessels out of the negative space. Then this is a collage task. This is another version of my collection, but drawn using sort of like stitch lines, different types of stitches. This is another collage, again sort of playing with composition and deconstruction. This is a task where we had to pick out words that resonated with our collection. So I've got lines, delicate, unexpected, together, design match, between, discussion, legacy, describes, pieces, handmade, thinking. And then these are collections of bits of paper we put together. Just seeing how they look together. And here are some zines. This is a task of finding dots within our collection, or finding spots and dot pattern. This is a collage of two deconstructed drawings of my broken ceramic piece collection, and this is sort of a nod to Giorgio Morandi, sort of still life using ink. This is the museum in a matchbox task. I just put my little ceramics in matchboxes, and then I have some continuous line. I think these are all continuous line, just with different pens. This is investigating the negative space between the ceramics. Some more investigation here. These are some more detailed drawings of the matchbox, and then this is looking at tone and colours, again thinking about the space. And these are realistic realistic still lifes inspired by Michael Angove. A sort of composition again, looking at the colours. This is a line drawing of a continuous line drawing of my collection that I just did on tracing paper so that I could put it over things to see how it looks. I especially like how it looks with the colours underneath and how the shapes overlap one another. Another abstract still life, I quite like this one. Another abstract still life, but playing with more colour and mixing my cutouts. So for this one I was building some new vessels out of the cutouts. So just kind of making like handles and the spout and just sort of putting them together, creating new vessel shapes. Another sort of still life, but mixing lines, mixing the cross hatching with the sort of abstract. This is a task, just finding check patterns. These are just some simple silhouette drawings, and then I used those silhouettes and sort of made an inverted version of my stitch drawings. These are some more collage exploration, but this time I painted up the papers myself and drew on them and just sort of cut them into shapes, see what I could get. So these are the mostly positive space, and then these are the looking at the negative space. And then some more positive space, but also with some sort of artistic interpretation with adding decorative elements. This is another line drawing. I quite like this one. Also, it's hard to see, but it's it's on squared paper. I think it looks quite nice on the squared paper as well. But I also did it on the plain paper. It's just easier to see. I really like these ones. These are some more, well, some are negative, some are positive space with cutouts. Some lino, just playing around with some lino cutouts. And I really like these flowers. And then this last page is sort of a play on the collections of paper, but I sort of did this to investigate colours and how much colour can, how much colour goes together and how much of it you need, like the proportion of colour. And then along with my sketchbook I've got some other loose leaf papers and also some experimentation with different materials. So this is a colour task, just putting the colour into strips so that you can see them together, sort of match them. And then when I did these strips, the cutouts from the ends I thought were quite interesting in the way the colours come together, and just put them together, the little squares. And these are some of the silhouettes we used for the cross hatching. And then this is an embroidery sort of sample. I didn't have many of the materials, so I just sort of made do with what I had. This was a fun task, just to draw what we were wearing, our collection of clothes that we were wearing during the tutorial. And then these are sewn, paper sewn examples of my collage. So sort of playing with negative and positive space again. Cut out like leftovers. This is sort of more abstract, but I quite like the colours in it. this is from the very beginning of the project. I thought I wanted to do some of these. These are a couple of metal copper things that my great-granddad made, and I thought I wanted to use them in my collection, but they didn't end up. I don't think I'm going to take them through to my major. There's another sewn paper sample. This is the continuous line drawing that I showed earlier. And this is line work, but I think it's continuous line but overlaid in different media. Another line drawing of what was in my cupboard, my food cupboard. This is another collage. I really like the textures of this one, so I used ink, papers, charcoal, washed down the ink as well. This is just a really basic ink drawing of my ceramic pieces. This is the Chaotic Collections task. I quite like this one as well. It's just little beauty products. I really like this collage. I like the contrast between the brown and the blue. And again, a nod to Morandi, Giorgio Morandi. At this time it's sort of mixing the cross-hatching with the traditional still life, just playing with how the cross-hatching can create shadows. So these are a few of just some mixed media, sort of playing with the patterns from the ceramic pieces and overlaying them over the vessels. And then also with the lino. These are some more negative space cut out drawings. Quite like this one. Just some really simple still life with ink. And then this one is sort of looking back at the constraints of the matchbox, but instead using a square. And just seeing how I can interpret it in different ways throughout each square. Another one, but with a light blue. And this is it's just like really simple still life, just looking at the mug from different angles and different ways of painting. Then I have these also playing with the constraint, but instead of a square, playing with a circle shape. And then my more experimental samples. These are some stitch and embroidery. I've got a flat lay of a vessel, and then some more 2D. This is with a grid pattern. And then this is one of the patterns taken from the pieces, the ceramic pieces, the broken pieces. Quite like this one, it's very delicate line. Then I have some wire. Some wire samples, just sort of recreating the forms with wire. And then I've got more abstract shapes using the wire. Sort of inspired by the cutouts and how they come together to make new shapes, new vessel shapes. And then the last things I have are these. So these are painted, like second-hand bought ceramics, and then I painted them white and then went over them with black acrylic paint, just decorating them. And then the last thing, I really like this, sort of very Matisse inspired with all the wonderful colours. And it's just a little bowl, again second hand, and then painted white. And then I stuck all these cut out or offcuts of papers, just overlaid them to see how they would look. Okay, that's everything.